I had sent out an email requesting every board member to give me a question that they would like asked of both of you. And I also asked them to give an alternative question in case somebody else happened to put their question down. And that questions would be given to me right before the board meeting, so there isn't any question about who knows what questions what. So I did get a question from George. I got a question from Bill, and I had to actually, Bill emailed me his today, and I had to write it down. And I got the questions from Denise tonight. I got them from Jen tonight. Scott, did you write? I didn't find them. There's a couple of things I'd like to say. When I asked for these questions, I asked questions, like I said, that I could ask both candidates to make it an even playing field. I have one board member here that didn't agree with that, so I'm not going to be asking his question. If he wants that question asked, he can ask that question. Donnie, would you be comfortable being interviewed first? And Karen, could you please leave the room?
Mr. Snell, can we get some clarification here? Which board member? Which question is it?
Yours. I said that if you want the question asked, you can ask the question. I refuse to ask that question.
Okay, I'll ask it. When the time comes. And I have a few concerns here I'd like to address first. While one candidate is answering questions, the other candidate, I'd like the other candidate to be out down the hall somewhere. I'd like one of our security people to be with her, just the two of them.
I believe I already asked Karen to leave the room, and yes, one of our security people can take her down the hall, no problem.
Okay, I would also like each applicant, when they come up to answer the questions, I would like them to swear that they have no advanced knowledge of any of the questions that they're about to be asked. I'd also like a time frame. We're going to limit this to a time frame, how much time they have to answer these questions. If you're going to ask each question, I would like you to identify which board member asked that question. And then I would also like you, before we do this, I would like you to poll each board member and would answer yes or no that they have thoroughly read the resumes of both applicants, because both applicants provided them to us. We also received an email that contains 15 attachments of posts from Mrs. Karen Wright on Facebook. We were provided those through board email. As board members, it's our responsibility to read our board email, all of it. I would like each board member to confirm that they read that email thoroughly. Thank you. I would also like to ask the taxpayers and the people here tonight, watch very closely how each one of your board representatives vote.
Mr. Snow, would you call out the names in order, and I am going to ask if the person, as you call them out, if they read both, let's call them resumes of both candidates.
And the email.
Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes.
Mr. Lowe?
Yes.
Mrs. Marriott?
Yes.
Mr. McCleary? Mr. Ruffin?
Yes.
And Mr. Snell.
Yes on the resumes, and no, I did not read the whole email or the slander.
Why not?
Because I didn't like the implications.
As a board member, one of your jobs is to read all communications that come from all the taxpayers, whether you like them or whether you don't. And in the past year, I read many emails from people, and I responded to them, who basically told me that some of us on the previous board were crazy, spendthrifts, elitist, arrogant, for the new building project. But I read them all, and I responded to each one of them. And I think, Mr. Snell, as the board president, you should do the same.
You're entitled to your opinion.
It's your job. It's your job.
Stay with everyone.
That's kind of far away.
Johnny, the first question is from Scott. This question is, what makes you the best candidate?
He asked what makes me the best candidate. I would like to reply that what I think makes me a good candidate, because I'd rather you appoint me based on my qualifications and not compared to somebody else necessarily. I have educational experience, and I know that we have education experience on board as well. We have primary and secondary, and I have post-secondary. I do have a lot of experience in committee work. I have experience in hiring and interviewing, so I know we have a big job to do with the interviewing and selecting a new superintendent, a major job. I am concerned with the education of our children, and I'm willing to serve. I'm willing to spend a lot of time reading and learning about the state mandates, which I have no clue right now for K through 12, what all of their state mandates are. I know what we require in post-secondary, and I know the work that goes into curriculum development and making sure that our curriculum matches the student learning outcomes and the graduation outcomes. And I'm sure it's similar, but still a lot different on the K through 12. But I'm willing to put that work in, and I'm willing to do training. I looked up on the PSBA website that they have a Learn portal that I would hope we'd have access to. I'm not sure if they do, that I could use the self-study modules to learn what I need to learn. And I think I can add balance to the board. I think I have a personality, I listen, I respect people's opinions. We may not always agree. I work with 28 different female faculty members that we have together in faculty meetings and come up with a consensus, and we don't always agree, but we dialogue and we collaborate and we look at the data, and then we come up with a decision. And once we make that decision, we support each other on that. And I think I can offer that to the board.
Mr. Snell, we didn't get, thank you very much, Mr. Mannings, I don't mean to interrupt you. We didn't get is there going to be a time limit?
Yes, you better make it time limit for each candidate of 20 minutes. And don't forget, at 9 o'clock, we're going to have to extend it.
Thank you.
So if you want to watch the clock, support the 7-0 vote on the Project Unity?
Would I support the 7th? Of course. It's already done. That's already done, yes.
The next question is from Ms. Marriott, Jen. As you are aware, our superintendent has decided to leave Mentorsville and work for another district in the area. We will be looking for a new superintendent. One of the first questions asked by any superintendent before interviewing is, what kind of board will I be working with? The choice this board makes tonight will speak volumes to those potential superintendents. What message will it be sending to those candidates if this board chose you tonight?
Well, I hope it would give those candidates the message that the board values education and that they are willing to collaborate and accept somebody onto the board that may not have their exact views. I think it's important for a board to be diverse. If you have 6 or 8 or 9 people that all agree and have the same viewpoint, then you're wasting 8 people's time, because only one person would be needed to make those decisions. So I think it's really good to have a diverse board from diverse backgrounds with diverse opinions to come together and collaborate for what's best for the students and the school district.
The next question comes from Mrs. John, Denise. What have you done to facilitate the learning environment or welfare of the Mentorsville students?
Currently, what have I done to support? I'm not sure that I have done enough. You know, I've been involved with my children. I've been involved with my grandchildren through the school district. I have not been on the school board. I've volunteered when I've been asked. I've donated to various funds when I've been asked, but I've not had a one-on-one commitment to it or involvement per se.
The next question is from Mr. McCleary, Bill. As a school board director, will you allow your vote to be influenced by intimidation, harassment, or personal threats of retaliation?
No. My vote will be based on data. My vote will be based on research. And my vote will be based on community input. And I take all of that along with dialogue with the rest of the board before I would make the vote.
The next question is from me. Do you see yourself primarily as a representative of the community or as a representative of the school system?
I see myself as a representative for the students and the community. I see myself, from what I've read on the purpose of school boards, is that we are here to represent the students that don't have a voice. But we have to do that based on input from people that elect us to the school board, and that is the community and taxpayers.
That's a good answer because you don't have to be either or. The reason board members are elected is to represent the people and the students. This means sometimes questioning or challenging things that are or are not happening in the district overall or in some of the schools. So, that's a good answer. Mr. Ruffing, your question would be the last one.
And Mrs. Mathers, if my question is not applicable to you, simply say so. For the past 8 or 9 months, you have made your views on Muslims, African Americans, and gays widely known to all through the use of social media. We have individuals in our district that belong to some of the groups that you have disparaged. As a board member, you are required to treat all students faculty, and staff equally. Why should we take a chance on believing you will treat all equally when you, number one, remove those posts only after deciding to seek a seat on the board, and number two, all actions, words, and even your presence on the board would increase the risk of a discrimination lawsuit against the Montourville Area School District?
Obviously, that's not applicable to me.
Thank you, Mrs. Manager.
Dottie, would you like to make a statement to the board before you come in? You still have time.
Well, I just appreciate your concern. I would be really honored to be able to come on board and work with you for the betterment of our school. And I promise you that I can be fair and I can be equitable and make decisions based upon fact and data. I did do a little bit of research because I thought maybe you would ask me what would be my vision for the school district, and so I'll give you that. My vision would be to someday be able to walk in, and maybe I can do that right now, and see a school of excellence, a school where the students are collaborating and talking and excited about learning, a school where the teachers are appreciated. And in fact, I would like to see some type of an incentive program or an award program for the teachers beyond just the national or state, but something within our local school district. And I did a little bit of research because I've heard concerns about the education going down in our school district, and I'm not sure what all the data, that's one of the learning curves I would need, but I saw on the U.S. News and World Report that we are not in the top 100, so I don't know if that's consistent or if that's just because of the drop in the scores in the last couple of years. And I also saw a discrepancy of 19% between the disadvantaged children and the non-disadvantaged children. And I'd like to know what we can do to help those non-disadvantaged students, because we have about, I think what I read, 22% of our students are disadvantaged. So I would like to see narrow that gap.
Thank you, Dottie.
Is it okay for us to make a motion now to extend the meeting by 30 minutes? I'll make a motion.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, the first question is from Mr. Conkle, Scott. And that question is, what makes you the best candidate?
Well, I feel I'm the best candidate. I don't have a long list of degrees. I have volunteered ever since I can remember. I volunteered for 4-H, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Family Promise, been involved in churches. I have a really deep passion for children. Contrary to what anyone has said, I am not racist. I love all children. I don't ask where they came from. I don't ask who they worship. I love them all, and I would give anyone an equal chance and help them in any way that I could. My own merit, and I take my own merit in my resume if I'm better than Dottie. That's for you to decide. Dottie's a nice person, and I just feel that I would research everything. I know I'm new to the policies and procedures, but whatever comes up, I will research it, pros and cons. I will make my own decisions. No one will tell me how to vote. And I will put the children first.
The second question comes from Mr. Hagemeyer. George, if you became a school board director, will you support the 7-0 vote on Project Unity?
Yes, I will. I want this community to mend, and I think that is the first step toward mending this community. I thought it was a good idea when I heard the Project Unity, and I will support it in every way. I will support any improvements to schools, and that includes the Lowestoft Valley School. It's going to help the children. I'm concerned about all the children, not just the high school, not just the middle school. I'm concerned with all of the children.
The next question is from Mrs. Marriott again. As you are aware, our superintendent has decided to leave the Montoursville and work for another district in the area. We will be looking for a new superintendent. One of the first questions asked by any superintendent before interviewing is, what kind of board will I be working with? The choice this board makes tonight will speak volumes to those potential superintendents. What message will it be sending to those candidates if this board chooses you tonight?
I would hope, Mr. Marriott, that it would be a good message. In choosing a new superintendent, I would hope that they would be a team player as I would be a team player. I would listen to you and every one of you and take what you have to say and give you my opinions, and then hopefully we can all come to agreements on every aspect. In choosing a superintendent, I have had experience in hiring and firing when I worked at Monza. I'm familiar with the personnel issues that come up. And I do think that the most important thing is being a team player when you're in a position such as this.
The next question is from Mrs. Johns, Denise. What have you done to facilitate the learning environment or welfare of the Montoursville students?
Well, last May I toured the Lowestoft Valley School, and we pointed out some issues that had been with that. As a consequence of that, it did get painted, cleaned up, more fans were brought in, and the new electrical outlets were put in. So I did push for that. And it also made the community aware that it needs a new air and heating system. It needs a new electrical system, needs better storage up there, and it needs the well hooked up at some point. We also talked to Mr. Bowers in December, asked him about the drug program that West Branch had to offer, and I know he's busy, but he didn't get back to me, and I'm not criticizing, I know you're busy. So I did call the West Branch Drug and Alcohol, actually several times, and they said that yes, now they are part of the Detroit curriculum, and they will be in next year. So I have been keeping up, and I will admit, till this past year, did I worry about the school board meetings? No. And in hindsight, every parent and grandparent, as I am, should worry about it. They should attend them. They should keep up to date on what's going on, because it does affect the children.
Karen, I do want to address that. You've never contacted me. My secretary has contacted you several times because of things that you commented on, and she's asked you to come in and meet with me. You've never done that. So I don't appreciate you commenting. You commented to me. I didn't return your call. That's not true. You have never reached out to me directly. You have talked to my secretary. My secretary invited you into the district several times to sit down and meet with me, and you've never done it. So I'm sorry, but I do have to correct it when you make a
Okay,
statement.
Dr. Harris, I'm not going to leave with you. Diana has messaged me on Facebook. And
You don't have to go into it. I just want to make that clear.
But
It was not an accurate statement.
No. I just thought that you would contact me after that meeting. It's okay. We're cool. So,
The next question is from Mr. McCleary. Bill. As a school board director, do you allow your vote to be influenced by intimidation, harassment, or personal threats of retaliation?
I think these last few weeks can answer that for you, because I wouldn't be standing here if that were the case. Intimidation to me is, the person doing the intimidating is doing it because they want to make themselves look big. And when you do that, I think you don't have the faith in what you believe in. So you resort to intimidation and anything that you can stir up against the other side, whether anything you're fighting for. If you believe in something, you don't have to use those measures. No, I would not. I think that I'm stronger than that. If it's what I believe in, no, I will not waver.
The next question is from me. Do you see yourself primarily as a representative of the community or as a representative of the school system?
I'm a representative of the children. I want to represent them, all ages. I would love there to be more parental support and parental interaction with the teachers. I think that's necessary with the education and the way the world is today. You need to have everybody on board of where the student is going, and I think that first I'm a representative of the children, and then the community.
Just so you know,
And that's probably the wrong answer, right?
you don't have to be either or. The reason board members are elected is to represent the people and the students. This means sometimes questioning or challenging things that are or are not happening in the district overall or in some of the schools. The next question, Mr. Ruffing is going to ask.
Mrs. Wright, for the past 8 to 9 months, you have made your views on Muslims, African Americans, and gays widely known to all through the use of social media. We have individuals in our district that belong to some of the groups that you have disparaged. As a board member, you are required to treat all students, faculty, and staff equally. Why should we take a chance on believing you that you will treat all equally when you have, number one, removed your posts related to that? Remove those posts only after deciding to seek a seat on the school board. And number two, all actions, words, and even your presence on the board would increase the risk of a discrimination lawsuit against the Montoursville Area School District.
Okay, Mr. Ruffing, I think I'm going to take this piece at a time. First of all, my post that someone spent a long time going through my many posts of family pictures and family events. That was like a year or so ago. And I commented on terrorists after the Paris bombings and all that was going on. I don't ask anyone their religion. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what you do in the bedroom. And I'm sorry if that's crass. But I will tell you, I will not force my beliefs on anyone. And I would not appreciate anyone forcing their beliefs on me. And I don't want anyone harmed. That post was directed at terrorists, and I'm sorry, I did not deserve what was twisted around and has been twisted around. And I took my post off at the advice of a lawyer, my Facebook, because you can take any sentence out of text on anyone's post and you can twist it around. I would not do that to someone else. And I did not appreciate it being done to me. I am not that person that they made me out to be. And if you knew me, or anyone knew me that came up here and talked against me, they wouldn't have any basis for it. I have worked with children and adults through many programs. Not once have I seen color, race, or religion. You come to my door and you need something, you will get it. And I'm sorry, it's got passion in it. Did I answer your question? And if you feel that I am such a terrible person, it is only because people out here have been making me out to be that terrible person. I am not that.
Mrs. Wright, let me clarify that I'm not here to judge you as you're suggesting that I have. I don't know you. Tonight I had to ask who you were. I thought that was you, but I wasn't sure. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
So all I have to go by is your own words. That's what I have to go by. I did not dig up your Facebook, okay? Someone did. They felt that that was pertinent information that we should know, just like any employer, as you heard earlier this evening. Any employer or students trying to get into a college, whatever it may be, many of them have been shut down and cut out and eliminated and disqualified because of their own words. I have nothing to judge you on. You could be a very fine person. You say you are. I don't know. I'll take your word for it. But what I had to go on 15 different attachments to an email, 15 different posts written over a period of many months, that's what I had to use to judge you. And your own words are what I use.
Like I said, those words were taken out of context. I am not that person that they put on. And your 15 people, that's fine. I could get 150 people to say something different about me. You. That's what you're going to have to judge. Here I stand. This is what I am. I have no hidden agendas and nothing to hide, nothing. So you can take me as I am right now. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Ruffing. I don't know Miss McNamara, yet she got up and said those things about me. I don't know her. I've never met her. I don't know a lot of the people that are saying things about me.
Mrs. Wright, just for clarification, what Mrs. McNamara said, she didn't say terrible things about you. What she did was
She read my post.
She read what she did, Mrs. Wright, and I'm not here arguing, and I don't respect
I'm
you.
sorry.
But what she did was, she didn't say terrible things about you. What she did was, she repeated your words.
And they were words written after the Paris bombings. I am sorry. I am sorry. I was passionate. One thing I have learned, and one thing I hope everyone's learned, don't put anything on Facebook. Don't share anything. Don't do anything. Because it can be taken and twisted, and it'll come back. I don't know what more I can say to you. I am not that person.
I thank you, Mrs. Wright. I thank you very much, but I want you to know, I do not twist your words. I simply read them.
I understand that.
I read them.
I understand that. And I understand that someone put a lot of time in going through my posts also.
Well, I did.
I know you did. I understand, but someone had a lot of time in their hands. And it's,
I think that's immaterial whether somebody had a lot of time.
Okay.
I thank you very much, Mrs. Wright.
Thank you.
Leave outside. Would you like to make a statement to the board before you finish?
I think you've all received my letters. I don't think that I should be held. I don't think my post should be held against me when other people's posts, someone put we should storm the podium at the meeting. Was that to incite a riot? It was said, if you can't pay your taxes, move. And we don't want Montoursville to be a retirement village. Is that a slam? Is that a criticism of the senior citizens? You can't take one post and judge a person. But they have taken that post and they have run with it and twisted it and made me out to be a bad person. And all I want to do is make a difference in the school. I'd like to expand the LICO program. I would like to see more apprentices and apprenticeship programs come in, work with the local community and local organizations, the manufacturers. I have ideas of how we can make it better, and I've dealt with so many diverse kids in Montoursville that I feel I can make a difference. That's all I can say. Thank you.
The interviews are over. Would anybody like to make a motion?
No, I would like to make a motion to approve
Second. Questions or comments? Mr. Secretary.
Excuse me, Mr. President. This is one of the things that you hear about being on board. It's the most difficult thing you can do. Well, here we are. There was a vote election, there were some big changes made. Good, bad, or indifferent. But here we are. There's no question that Mrs. Mathers is extremely qualified. But there's also no question that she did not win the election. In a year from now, there's going to be another election. Then the public can speak. But the public did just speak. And what they said was that they didn't like the way things were. Now, I've known who Karen Wright is for a long time, and I've dealt with her at my business some. She is a good human being. She has been vilified. And the people doing it, just, it's just, to me, get a life. And I know that my position in the community is going to be, but here we are. We got to school. We're getting the new school. I changed my mind on that because I did see some things, and I did. Plus, it went too far. It had gone too far. But as far as Karen Wright being a good mother, being a good human being, both of these people are very good human beings. There's an election in another year. We just had an election. And the changes that were made, I think that the public deserves those changes. And I think that the public deserves where we're at. So, go ahead, Mr. Snell.
Yeah, I'd like to respond to Mr. Logue. Mr. Logue, in all your years as a businessman, when you had two applicants come to you applying for the same job, did you or did you not take the one that you found to be the most qualified and to give you the best performance for your money?
To answer that, when I was in business, I dealt with the government, I dealt with this, and that is what Karen Wright has done. She deals with the same things that business people deal with. There is a certain amount of shelter afforded academia and the health system. Just raise the price. It's no big deal. And that's where we're at now, where we've raised the price, and we've continued to raise the price. And someone who has some kind of an understanding of payroll on Friday, I think is important now. Plus, it can be changed in a year. It can be another election.
Mr. Logue, I would respectfully state that you didn't answer my question. The question, I'll repeat it. When you had two applicants come before you for a position, did you or did you not hire the one that you found to be the most qualified? And in this position that we're in tonight, I don't think any board member can have any question in their mind as to which one of these applicants to serve on a board of education, which one of these members, or which one of these applicants is the most qualified. So my question to you again, Mr. Logue, did you or did you not take the applicant that you found to be the most qualified?
The most qualified, there's a couple different things that come into play on that. And one of them certainly is being in a position where sink or swim. You can't just raise the price. You can't you have to you have to deal with the situation you're in, and I think that her ability and the positions she's been in make her certainly not in a. We have teachers. Isn't there a lot of teachers that teach in the school? You know, in the old days there was farmers that were on the school board. And
Yeah, I'm not done. Mr. Lowe, with all due respect, would you please give me a one-word answer, yes or no? Would you hire the applicant that you found to be most qualified?
do you think that the election has anything to do with this?
Not at this point.
Just, just give me a yes or no, please.
Well, Mr. Ruffing, that's just another one of your difficult questions. I don't have a yes or no for that.
Thank you, Mr. Lowe.
I'm the only board member here tonight that represents Region 2. Region 2, okay, and the vote. Listen, I'm sorry. No, I meant in this past election. I'm sorry. Mrs. Marriott certainly is from Region 2. I apologize for that. As the one that ran this last November, I'm the only one on the board that ran it, Region 2. Mrs. Mathers ran an excellent campaign. They were well financed, very organized. She definitely got the word out on her qualifications. We sat together for 13 hours on election day, and I think she's a wonderful person. However, the vote count for the election in November, she received 490 votes, which is a substantial amount. However, I received 901, which is a 2-to-1 margin. And the reason that's important is because not enough time has passed. Several years have passed. Sentiment among the population may have changed. Mr. Lowe is correct. The election just happened recently. It was a 2-to-1 margin. People spoke, loudly, and I think that needs to be considered. That Mrs. Mather's qualifications were well known, and for whatever reason, they chose not to vote for her. And so that has to play into my consideration for the vote.
I just have one comment to make on that. Yes, Daughtry did run in November, but we cannot compare apples to oranges because Karen did not run in November. So.
Absolutely.
I don't have anything against Karen, so I just was making a point.
Mr. President,
Mr. Snell.
mine's going to be short and sweet because I see where we're headed here. If you take two of these candidates, it is hands down. It is hands down. I know both of these people, but this is hands down to who should get this. If you compare apples to apples, and with the interviews tonight.
Mr. Snell, one more thing. Mr. McCleary did mention the vote count, okay? And Mr. McCleary got a lot of votes. And Mrs. Mathers did not get near as many. And there's a reason for that. And this is the reason, and I'm not getting into it, but this is so full of misinformation, okay? And this is what people went by, because they believed it. They believed what their taxes would go up. They believed that this group that they were voting for would restore integrity, transparency, public trust, and fiscal responsibility, and they have done none of that. So the facts have changed since the election.
motion is to accept Mrs. Karen Wright as the new school board director for Region 2 to fill the empty seat left by Mr. Kaplan.
Mr. Hagemeyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Conville?
No.
Mr. Lowe?
Yes.
Mrs. Marriott?
No.
Mr. McCleary?
Yes.
Mr. Ruffing?
No.
Mr. Snell?
Yes.
No. I'd like to make one more statement.
All those in favor?
No.
Opposed?
No.
Meeting adjourned.
That's shaking. Don't. No violence. Yeah, do I swipe down? Swipe down. Bye, friends. Sorry about the bad news. I just can't stop broadcast.